Okay. Page number 447, Book 6, The Book of Fate, Canto 2, The Way of Fate and the Problem of Pain. Middle of the page. Even if the world breaks not in a drowning sea,
No, we should
only
start. We should start with even if he escapes. That's the beginning of the sentence.
even if okay, even if he escapes the fiercest fires,
A fiercest.
fiercest, even if he escapes the fiercest fires, even if the world breaks not in a drowning sea, only by hard sacrifice is high heaven earned. He must face the fight, the pang who would conquer hell. A dark, concealed hostility is lodged in the human depths, in the hidden heart of time that claims the right to change and mar God's work. A
Uh,
secret,
like you
okay,
to, I'd like you to pronounce the and
and
the D a little bit more firmly. But it's
okay,
reading. You read very, very well today. So
okay,
let's go through these lines. Sri Aurobindo speaks of hell.
yeah,
I think it's important that we read what he says on hell.
yes, yes.
Um,
So I read from the lexicon.
yes.
EF, okay, hell. The adobe of condemned souls and devils in some religions, the place of eternal punishment for the wicked after death.
Yeah,
Sri
it's
Aurobindo.
the abode, not adobe. Abode.
Abode.
Abode
Okay,
is where
abode.
we live.
Like a
That's the place
house. Yeah, yeah,
where we live. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Good.
What is meant by hell is a painful passage through the vital or lingering there, as for instance,
Vital.
vital. Through the
Mhm.
vital or lingering there, as for instance in many cases of suicide, one where one remains surrounded by the forces of suffering and turmoil created by the unnatural and violent exit.
By this unnatural
By this unnatural,
and
violent exit.
violent exit. Yes.
Desire, wrath, and greed, the three powers of the rajasic ego, and these are the threefold doors of hell. Essays on
Wow.
the Gita.
How powerful, huh?
Yeah,
Good. And he
yeah,
has hell and heaven.
yeah. We read that also.
Mhm.
Okay. Hell and heaven, Sri Aurobindo. Hell and heaven are often imaginary states of the soul, or rather of the vital, which it constructs about it after its passing. What is meant by hell is a painful passage through the vital, or lingering there, as for instance in many cases of suicide, where one remains surrounded by the forces of suffering and turmoil created by this unnatural and violent exit. There are, of course, also worlds of mind and vital worlds which are penetrated with joyful and dark experiences. One
Joyful
may
or dark.
joyful or dark experiences. One may pass through these as the result of things formed in the nature which create the affinities,
No,
but
necessary.
necessary affinities, but the idea of reward or retribution is a crude and vulgar conception which is a mere popular error.
Well, so he's very clear, huh?
Mm.
So this wipes out all of the Christian thought,
Yeah,
even the Buddhist thought, because
yeah,
that's illusionism, even the Muslim thought
yeah,
to heaven with these virgins and all. So what
yeah,
he is telling us here, he's telling us that we may have to pass through these worlds, of the vital especially, because of desire, wrath, and greed. But when he calls them the threefold doors of hell, he's not speaking of hell where we have to remain, but just this rather painful passage that we may have to go through because we have uh, paid so much attention to desire, wrath, and greed.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then, now tell me what he's saying here about this um, hard sacrifice and.
He's still continuing to talk about the avatar and what the avatar has to face.
Mhm.
And he says, even only by hard sacrifice is high heaven earned. So even for
Yeah.
the avatar, he must face the fight to conquer the hell.
Yes. And what about this dark, concealed hostility? Lodged, what does lodged means?
Lodge means to like lodge an arrow or like send out lodge uh oh, is it the lodge the other one like staying in?
Yeah, it's fixed or implanted in us.
Implanted. Okay, okay. A dark, concealed hostility is lodged in the human depths, in the hidden heart of time, that claims the right to change and mar God's work. So, this dark, concealed hostility is within us, it's within the deep human depths. Uh, and it even mars God's work.
Yeah, and it claims the right to do that too.
Yeah, in the
Now,
hidden heart of time that claims the right to change and so he's saying the human also has a right to change this,
yes, and mar means to impair or to spoil
to spoil. Yeah,
God's work. And then
yeah.
a secret enmity. Enmity.
A
What is
secret
enmity?
enmity, a secret enmity ambushes the world's march. It leaves a mark on thought and speech and act. It stamps stain and defect on all things done, till it is slain peace is forbidden on earth.
You can read that line, last line again, more
I didn't
clear.
understand that. Yeah, it
Yeah.
leaves a secret enmity ambushes the world's
Uh,
march.
enmity, enmity.
Enmity.
Yeah,
Sorry.
which
A
is,
secret enmity
yeah,
ambushes the world's march. It
good.
leaves a mark on thought and speech and act. Okay, so the secret enmity, like the world is marching with against,
Enmity means hostility or hatred
yeah,
or ill will, animosity, secret enmity.
secret
Okay?
enmity. Okay. It stamps pain, it stamps stain and defeat on all things
No, no,
till
you're reading too fast, love. You're reading too fast. You're making too many mistakes. It stamps stain and defect, not defeat.
ah, it stands stain and defect on all things done,
Ah.
till it is slain peace is forbidden on earth.
So the word till, you have to understand, means until.
Yeah.
So until it is slain, peace is forbidden on earth. What is this thing that has to be slain? It's this secret hostility, this
Hmm.
secret ill will,
Hmm.
antagonism. That has to be slain because it ambushes our march forward, the world's march.
Hmm.
Are you clear
Okay.
now?
Yeah.
You're clear on that?
Yeah, but I still didn't really understand that sentence. So what is leaving the mark on thought and speech and act? Is the human's hatred towards.
No, what leaves its mark on thought and speech and act is this uh, hostility that is implanted in the human depths.
Okay.
It is this secret enmity that ambushes the world's march. So he uses two words here. He uses this concealed hostility
Mm-hmm.
and that's hidden in the human depths, in the heart of time. And he says this secret enmity. So hostility is, you know what hostility means. And enmity is very close. He uses
Mm.
two words here to impress us more deeply on what this thing is that's leaving its mark on our thoughts,
Huh.
on our speech, on our acts, and
Okay.
it even stamps. A stamp, is a
Yeah, leaving a mark, like we put a stamp on it.
yeah. If someone stamps a paper,
Yeah.
they use something that is a stamp and they stamp it. It's not a
Okay.
postage stamp.
Okay.
So it stamps stain and defect on all things
All
done.
things.
It's so powerful, this secret enmity, this
Hmm.
concealed hostility
Hmm.
is so powerful. So now we have to continue on.
There is no visible foe, but the unseen is round us. Forces intangible besiege, touches from alien realms, thoughts not our own, overtake us and compel the erring heart. Our lives are caught in an ambiguous net.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous net.
Ambiguous. You, us. Think,
Ambiguous.
yes, ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
Good.
Ambiguous.
So we have a lot to cover here. It's very
Yeah.
important. Very important.
Yeah.
He began by telling us that there's this dark hostility
Yeah.
that is implanted in the human depths.
Hmm.
Or he says it's lodged. Well, if we lodge something in something, we fix it in there.
Okay.
So it's fixed in the human depths,
Hmm.
and it's fixed also in the hidden heart of time.
Hmm.
What does this dark hostility do? It claims the right to change and mar God's work. To mar something is, of course, to spoil it,
Hmm.
okay, to make it less perfect, to damage it.
Okay.
And then he says a secret enmity ambushes the world's march. The world's march is its progress towards transformation and evolution.
Got it.
And therefore, it leaves a mark on thought and speech and act. So it leaves that mark on all these three things, on everything we think, on everything we say, and all our actions.
Hmm.
It even stamps stain and defect on everything we do. Now, this is very, very strong wording, of course. And Sri Aurobindo is telling us here in Savitri what it does. And then he says that there isn't any visible enemy, but this unseen is around us. And these forces, what does he say? Intangible. So we can't perceive them by the sense of touch.
Hmm.
Besiege us. To besiege someone is to surround them with hostile forces.
Hmm.
When a fort is besieged by the enemy, it's surrounded and attacked.
Hmm.
And so these forces uh, are intangible and they besiege us.
Hmm.
But they are touches from alien realms. And he even says that thoughts not our own overtake us and compel the erring heart, the heart that is subject to making errors.
Hmm.
And then he says our lives are caught in an ambiguous net.
Hmm.
Ambiguous is a doubtful net.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sometimes has double meaning,
Yeah.
ambiguous. So this, what we have read here is extremely powerful, extremely. And then he will tell us a little bit more, and we'll go into some definitions. In the next line, read slowly, please.
An adversary force was born of old, invader of the life of mortal man. It hides from him the straight, immortal path.
Okay. So this adversary force, note the capital F,
Yeah.
is what Mother says of those four emanations that the divine sent down.
Hmm.
They realized how much power they had,
Yeah.
and they turned against the divine.
Hmm.
And that's the adversary force.
Hmm.
Love turns into hate, good turns into evil, etc., etc.
Hmm.
So let us read the adversary from Sri Aurobindo.
The adversary. Okay. Adversary. Sri Aurobindo. When there is some lowering or diminution of the
Good.
consciousness or some impairing of it at one place or another, the adversary or the censor, who is always on the watch, presses with all its might whenever there is a weak point lying covered from your own view, and suddenly a wrong movement leaps up with unexpected force.
Ah,
Become conscious and cast out the possibility of its renewal. That is all that is to be done.
so he's very clear here again, huh?
Yeah.
This adversary or this censor who's always on the watch,
Yeah.
he's going to press on that weak point that we have. And I've experienced it many, many times.
Hmm.
Even if it's covered from our own view, suddenly we want to do something that's not the right thing to do.
Hmm.
And that's called a wrong movement.
Hmm.
And it leaps up with unexpected force.
Hmm.
And then what does he say to do? He says, become conscious
Yeah.
and cast out the possibility of its renewal.
Hmm.
And then he says, that is all that is to be done.
Hmm.
Now we have the mother.
To
Three different
con
things from mother.
yeah. To conquer the adversary is not a small thing. One must have a greater power than his to vanish him. One
Slow,
but
slowly.
but but one can liberate oneself totally from his influence. And from the minute one is completely free from his influence, one's self-giving can be total. And with the self-giving comes joy long before the adversary is truly vanquished and disappears. The adversary will disappear only when he is no longer necessary in the world, and we know very well that he is necessary as the touchstone for gold to know if it is pure. But if one is really sincere, the adversary can't even approach him any longer, and he doesn't try it because that would be courting his own destruction. Insincerity is always an open door for the adversary. That means there is some secret sympathy with what is perverse, and that is what is serious.
Oh, she's really tells us. Mother always tells us so clearly.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the adversaries going to be around in this world, and we are aware of it. We are aware of it in every country, and we are aware of it in ourselves. And she says that one has to have a greater power than the adversary to vanquish him,
Yeah.
beat him completely.
Yeah.
But one can do this. One can liberate oneself totally from his influence.
Hmm.
And then when we are free from that,
Yeah.
can give ourselves completely.
Hmm.
And with the self giving comes joy long before the adversary is truly vanquished and
Hmm.
disappears. But then she says he will disappear only when he is no longer necessary in the world.
Yeah. Hmm.
We know very well that he is necessary. Oh my gosh, Mother's so clear. As the touchstone for gold, to
Hmm.
know it is pure. So until we know that we are pure, he
Hmm.
will be around. He'll be
Yeah.
that touchstone for
Yeah.
gold. But if one is really sincere,
Yeah.
the adversary can't even approach him any longer.
Yeah.
And why doesn't he try it? Because that would be courting his own destruction.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
And she's also talking about insincerity, which I really like because that sincerity is one of the qualities. Like I have personally like done like I did 3 months of first person research, just holding that quality for in all the actions and in all through the day. And yeah,
Wonderful.
I mean, it makes so much sense. Insincerity is always an open door for that adversary because you're not sincere, and it's like when you're not sincere, you're open to all sort of nonsense.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Yeah,
And so this adversary force that was born of old,
yeah,
what is he? He's the invader,
hmm,
the life of mortal man.
yeah,
And it even hides from him, from mortal man, the straight, immortal path. We could go on a few more lines and then you read the whole thing again for me.
yeah. I was thinking actually to even maybe stop at immortal path because though we have covered only a few lines, I feel like we covered a lot.
We have covered a lot. That's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just read from top.
From the very top, I think, yes. It would be a good idea.
From the top. Okay.
Why not? Sure.
Yeah, sure. He is lashed with the whips that tear the world's worn heart. The weeping of the centuries visits his eyes. He wears the blood-glued fury censure
Oh,
shirt.
you always miss that one. Fiery.
Fiery, fiery.
Like
Oh,
fire. Like fire.
yes. Yes, we have discussed this so many times. Okay, fiery. He wears the blood-glued fiery censure shirt. The poison of the world has stained his throat. In the marketplace of matter's capital, amidst the chafferings of the affair called life,
I think it's called
he's
chafferings. Chafferings. Chaffering.
chafferings,
Not shaft,
amidst,
but
okay, amidst the
No.
chafferings,
Cha. Cha. Cha.
cha, cha,
Like
amidst the
chat.
chafferings,
Mm-hmm.
amidst the chafferings of the affair called life, he is tied to the stake of a perennial fire.
Yeah.
He burns on an unseen original verge that matter may be turned to spirit stuff. He is the victim in his own sacrifice, the immortal bound to earth's mortality, appearing and perishing on the roads of time, creates God's create God's moment by eternity's
Yeah.
beats.
Oh, moment.
Moment. Oh, I didn't get it right. I thought I got it right this time.
Oh,
Okay. Create God's moment by eternity's beats.
perfect.
He dies that the world may be newborn and live. Even if he escapes the fiercest fires,
Yes,
even
fiercest fires.
even if the world breaks not in a drowning sea, only by hard sacrifice is high heaven earned. He must face the fight, the pang who would conquer hell. A dark, concealed hostility is lodged in the human depths, in the hidden heart of time, that claims the right to change and mar God's work. A secret enmity ambushes the world's march. It
No,
leaves
secret enmity ambushes.
enmity. A
Ambushes.
secret enmity ambushes the world's march.
Good.
It leaves a mark on thought and speech and act. It stamps stain and defeat on all things done.
You missed that last time too. It stamps stain and defect.
It
Not,
stamps
not
stain and defect on all things done, till it is slain, till it is slain peace, till it is slain peace is forbidden on earth.
good. What is defect?
Defect is damaged or like having some problem. Defect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right. Stain and defect on everything done, huh?
done. Yeah. There is no visible foe, but the unseen is round us. Forces intangible besiege, touches from alien realms, thoughts not our own, overtake us and compel the erring heart. Our lives are caught in an ambiguous net. An adversary force was born of old,
I believe it's
invader,
adversary.
adversary.
Hmm.
An adversary force was born of old, invader of the life of mortal man. It hides from him the straight immortal path.
Can you, are you aware of how much progress you've made in reading?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, it's just amazing. I listen to you and I understand almost everything that you're saying.
Thank you, Narad.
It's wonderful,
It's
wonderful.
wonderful. Yes, it's wonderful.